What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I am joined by Degenerate Jay. And Jay, in this video, we're going to be talking about if the upcoming Wonder Woman film, Wonder Woman 1984, will be worse than the original. Now, I don't want that title to imply, even though I know it kind of does, I don't want it to imply that we don't like the original Wonder Woman. In fact, we actually really like Wonder Woman, the 2017 movie. We'll talk about that a little bit, kind of going back and forth here, but we're kind of just, we're a few weeks away. It's actually going to come out internationally in like a week and a half from now. So we are very, very close to people getting finally, almost a year later, but finally getting their eyes on this film. And so I think it's a good time. I do want to re-review the 2017 Wonder Woman. I'm going to be covering, I don't normally do a lot of movie stuff, but it's just because all the movies have been delayed. But I will be talking about this movie when it's out. I'll be having plenty of coverage. With that being said, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And while you're at it, make sure you guys check out Jay's channel. Both his main channel and his Let's Play channel will be in the description and a pinned comment. Jay, thank you so much for being on this video with me.
Hey dude, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about it. And yeah, I'm glad you clarified so we don't have Wonder Woman stans super mad at us because I love the first movie.
Yep.
It is concerning with how long this movie has been just kind of sitting around. I don't think it'll have anything to do with the overall quality, but I do wonder sort of if expectations too even will have been built up a little bit with all these delays.
Right. So I think that's kind of important because one thing, I don't remember if this was a rumor or this was something that was confirmed, but remember, I think it was a rumor that there was like talks inside of Warner Bros. Where it's like they were talking about pushing it again till June of 2021, which would be a full year after it should have come out. And I think it was internal talks where it's like they didn't want to because they thought that it wouldn't hold up because it's been in they filmed it back in, I believe, July. They finished it in July of 2018. So it's been 2 full years since it's even been filmed. Now, movies sometimes get filmed a year, 2 years, sometimes 3 or 4 years, depending on circumstances. But yeah, that can wear off. Like there's like a luster that goes with these movies that can wear off because of how long it's been. To me, I'll just flat out say it. Do I think this movie's going to be worse? I do. I'm not like going in expecting a terrible thing. I'm actually going in hoping that it's going to be really, really good. I really, truly do love Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot, I think, I've been a fan of hers since Fast and the Furious, to plug my Fast and Furious content and my love. I loved her in that as Giselle. I think she's a perfect fit for Wonder Woman. So she's always been good, but I don't know, just the original movie was so special. I think it's not perfect. There's many things, especially like the very end. There's a lot of things wrong with it, but I just don't know if this one is going to hold up. Like we said, at this point, it's almost a full year since it was, I guess half a year, right? Since it was supposed to come out. I don't really know where people's expectations are. Like, do we care anymore? I know a lot of people I've even seen for, like, Black Widow. I'm trying to, like, pump that movie up. Like, I'm trying to still get excited. I see a lot of people online saying, like, no, I've lost because it's been delayed, like, 8 times. I've lost all excitement for it. And so I think that could make its way into Wonder Woman. Now, that could help it because maybe people are going in saying, this is just a movie that I wanted to see, and now it's been delayed like 1,000 times. I'll finally see it. I don't really care anymore. I just want it to get out of the way. And then they see it, and maybe it's really good. You know what I mean? So there are definitely ways that it can go in the movie's favor. And I do think the movie will be at least good. Now, I don't do ratings. I don't do reviews like that. But, I'm not going to put numbers on these. But I think it'll at least be a good movie. But can it be better than the original? That's also talking about just what they managed to pull off in that original that I think was very unexpected, especially with it coming out in the Batman v Superman and right before Justice League when they were at their lowest, and the Wonder Woman came out and they were like, wait, they know how to make movies, and they nailed it. So things are different now. So Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's very concerning with how long it's sat around, like I said, because expectations will have built up for this movie. I will say just straight off the bat, not to sound really biased, but I am a complete Gal fanboy. I love everything she's in. If I see, like Gal is one of my, I'm just going to straight up say it, celebrity crushes, like hardcore. Like I love her. She's so kind. She seems like such a nice person. Are there things that sometimes she says that I maybe don't fully agree with, or situations where it's like, like the what was it, the song?
Oh, yeah, oh my God, Imagine.
Yeah. Where I was like, maybe this wasn't the best thing. Absolutely. But overall, I really do love her. I love her acting. She seems like such a kind and sweet person when she's on screen. She always sells me on every character that she is. So just for that, I would be seeing the movie no matter what. Now, my concern though is, the majority of the audience isn't going to be that way. They don't have any kind of emotional investment in that actress. They're there to see Wonder Woman and see if they like the movie, and if they don't, they don't. And I am concerned at this constant pushback to these movies in terms of the studios just always being like, yeah, well, it's a bad time, we'll release it later. There is a point at which people do stop caring. I've noticed this with a lot of games, video games, and it's been longer. Things like Duke Nukem Forever, I always bring up. They just keep getting pushed back, and by the time they come out, no one cares. And I do think that this is a problem that Hollywood is dealing with. Now, will that affect the overall quality of the movie? I'm not sure, because the movie's been done forever. The concern that I have is if it will affect the reception, because will people go into it, expecting a 10? And again, I don't review movies like this either. I don't like scores like that. I think they're arbitrary. But will they go into it expecting a 10 out of 10, and the whole time it's been an 8.7? And so when they get the 8.7, it feels like a 6. That's kind of what concerns me about this situation.
Right. No, I totally agree. I think that it's what happens when you have this situation that's happened around the world over the past. We can almost say it at this point, over the past year. That's going to mess with it. It's going to mess with where people are kind of heading in. Seeing this movie. Another thing is also, I guess, not seeing. We talked about this depending on what day these videos went on. Jay and I talked about the movie theater situation with HBO Max and stuff. So a large majority of people, I assume, are not going to even see Wonder Woman in theaters. Does that affect anything? That's kind of a brand new world. Like for me, this will be I didn't see Tenet I like at home. I didn't see New Mutants. I haven't seen any of the movies that have come out recently that have like gone eventually like on demand or been day one or whatever. I haven't seen any of them. So I haven't seen a big blockbuster movie. And really, besides Tenet, maybe there was no blockbuster movie to match Wonder Woman. I've never done it before. You know what I mean? Like watching it for the first time in my home. It's probably going to be very, very weird. I don't want to do it. I talked about the reasoning before, right? Like the Christmas thing. I want to watch it day one, but we don't go out. I have a wife and daughter. We don't go out probably on Christmas. I just don't think that's going to happen. So, like, will that change it? Because it's like I'm expecting this huge, spectacle, like all these sounds, like, booming around my ear, and I'm just watching it on a TV. So that can truly, if it's a movie made for, like, cinemas, which honestly, like Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame is probably one of the top ones that was made for movies, and it just doesn't come close to. It's still really good, but it doesn't come even close to it when you watch it at home. So like there are movies like that, and if Wonder Woman is like that, it will be hurt. Final thing I want to say, and I'm going to hand it over to Jay for whatever he wants to end with. The actual, we talked about like circumstances and stuff like that. Two things I want to talk about really quickly is the villain choice, even like the actor, like Kristen Wiig, and also like Pedro Pascal, using them, who they are in this movie, and also having Chris Pine come back, right? That's like, those are tough things because you pulled a rabbit out of a hat back with Wonder Woman. That relationship between those two characters in that movie were phenomenal. I think that probably was the shining star of the, like that entire thing. To do it again, I don't know if you can do it again. And if you do, you're going to have to be very creative. And you're going to have, it's not going to be as good. You know what I mean? You're going to have to really shake things up, or it's just going to be a retread where it's like, okay, well, you kind of need him. You need these two to be in a relationship or together, because if you don't have it, your movie's just nowhere near as good. And if that's what they're getting, I mean, I don't know how or why you get him back for a third movie. So that hurts. And then, like, I don't know if there's any Kristen Wiig fans that watch my videos, but I've never, she's funny in SNL, I guess, but I've never been a fan of hers in terms of, like, I don't think she can carry a movie. I don't think that's ever been the case. Her being the main villain, we'll see. I mean, it depends on how much time we see her versus we see, like, Cheetah, right? So I don't know. Now, the villain in Wonder Woman was awful as well. Like, the ending, basically, reveal was probably the worst part of the movie. So it's not like they're facing off against the best strengths of Wonder Woman, but I just wonder how those two, that's probably how I'm going to judge it. Like Jay said, what you're going to get from Gal Gadot. Is she the best actress in the world? No. Can I understand everything she says all the time? No. But she puts it all in there, and we know what we're getting from her, and she is Wonder Woman, right? Chris Pine is an amazing, amazing actor. Pedro Pascal, right? Mandalorian, I mean, he's phenomenal. I think he's going to do a really good job. While I don't like him from like a politics thing, he is it seems like a really good actor. So I'm not really worried about that stuff, but I don't know. Those are some of the glaring things movie-wise that really scare me. Jay, any final things like that?
Yeah, I think that one thing that's worth thinking about too with this whole thing is just kind of like, It's very complicated how many sides there are to this. I think that there is star power behind this movie. I think that the delays will affect how people perceive it. And I also do think that Gal does carry a lot of the original movie. And I think that that's something we need to move away from a little bit. Obviously, we're there for her and for Wonder Woman, but we do need to start seeing better villains out of this. Otherwise, it just becomes redundant. And I'm also concerned about one thing with this story, which I will say briefly. I don't know. This is just a prediction that I have. So it's not a spoiler, but my prediction, because they talk in the trailers about, wishes and essentially like having the power to wish back whatever you want.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that that's how Steve Trevor will come back and that in the end he will need to be given up or something like that for the greater good. That's my assumption. I haven't read the script. I don't know anything about that. But I kind of wonder how you're going to tie these themes all together with him and with the whole wishing thing. And after you do this, you really can't bring him back a third time because you're resurrecting a character twice, which is getting silly and acting like it's supposed to have emotional stakes every time you do it. So it's kind of like if they get rid of him by the end of this movie, which I don't know how they wouldn't because this is in the DCEU and he has to be gone by modern day. Well, now you've set yourself up for failure in a way for whatever the third Wonder Woman is because you need to resurrect a character again that already was a stretch to bring back. So these are kind of issues that I'm having going into it that I hope are not a problem, but are a little concerning for me going into the future of this franchise and how it fits into an overall arching narrative.
Totally. No, absolutely. I think that's very valid. I honestly feel like when we get out of this movie, those are going to be some of the, unless there's like huge glaring like holes in this movie, I think those are going to be some of the bigger talking points where it's like, all right, maybe you pulled it off, maybe you didn't. And no matter what, though, you can't do it again for the third movie, right? So I'm sure we'll have these kind of talks once the movie is out. Again, comes out internationally in the UK, comes out, I think, December 14th, December 16th, somewhere in that range. So very, very soon. And then it comes out on Christmas here in the US. So we're getting very, very close. Again, I am going to do some stuff on this. I want to re-review the original. I also want to talk about this movie when it's out, talk about the ending, review it, all that kind of good stuff. So make sure, number one, leave in the comments below, what do you guys think? Do you think this movie will be better, worse than the 2017 one? As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And while you're there, make sure you guys are subscribed to Jay's channels. Again, both his main and his Let's Play channel will both be in the description. Jay, you do stuff like this too. You've talked about movies. You reviewed a bunch of things. So there's a ton of content on Jay's channel. A really, really good friend of mine, an amazing guy to talk to. Jay, thank you so much for being on this video with me.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's always a blast, and I definitely look forward to doing more. Your audience is awesome, too.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it, and we hope to see you all on the next video.